Joining from Zelira Therapeutics is Richard Hopkins, and from Emyria's Michael Winlow. Good to see you both. Good morning.
Pleasure to be here, Andrew.
Richard, firstly, this partnership, this deal you've announced this week with Emyria. Tell us a little bit more about it.
We're really excited by this deal because it actually takes the partnership we've built and have been building with Emyria for some time to a new level. It's another data sharing agreement, this time supporting our most recent product launch, which is the Hope range of formulations, which is focused on autism. That's an area with a huge unmet medical need. We think that cannabis can really step in alongside existing medications and support patients and families. But in this particular instance, what we've created with Emyria is a really exciting framework that is pioneering a new space, we think, around the world. It facilitates a way to get patient engagement, to work with doctors and all stakeholders in the community to accelerate that process, to ensure that we collect exceptionally high quality observational data, which in the longer run should be able to accelerate the path to registration as well as to market in such a way that would benefit patients and doctors by giving them the information they're looking for. So, you know, it's quite disruptive what we're trying here. Australia's, I think, leading the way in terms of building a regulatory environment that allows us to do this. And this partnership, I think, will be replicated in such a way that I think other regulatory bodies will be looking at how we're generating this data and this observational trial that we're pushing forward.
And Michael, just to build on what Richard's saying there, you're thrilled to be teaming up with Zelira for the third time.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Zelira's been a terrific partner. You know, they're one of the few producers taking their clinical research really seriously in recognition that, you know, the only way to really broaden patient access to these promising treatments is to present high quality clinical evidence on where these treatments work best. And Zelira is taking that really seriously. And this is a really great extension, actually, this particular trial of that partnership into a really big area of unmet need as well. We should stress that, you know, there aren't a lot of great options for this particular patient group that of the focus of this study, that's autism. And this would really open up a world of opportunity, hopefully, if we can show that these treatments work effectively and are safe.
So Michael, tell us more, what data will you be collecting? What will you be looking at here?
Yeah, so we'll be providing, you know, a standard of care model. We'll be working our clinicians closely side by side with the patient's usual treating team as well, their pediatricians and their psychologists as well, gathering information from all those groups, but particularly the patient and their families as well, to understand, you know, quality of life changes, important key behavioural changes that might mark a sign of improvement or more receptivity to their usual care programs as well. And that's really unique in that typically this data doesn't get collated in an organized way, in a structured fashion, in a way that makes it readily available as clinical evidence to support, you know, that drug development and improvement over time. So this is unique in that way, a way of providing access, but also great insights that are needed.
And Richard, this is a 12-month agreement, is it?
It's up to 12 months, but we can potentially extend that if we feel the trial's going particularly well. I mean, the trial number, or the number of participants we've proposed, is something in the order of 150 patients, which would make it one of the largest trials of its type in the world. But we can expand that if we feel it's going particularly well, and this framework really, I think, facilitates that patient-doctor engagement that we're looking for.
And just, Richard, tell us a bit more. What will this mean, depending on the outcome here? What will it mean for your range of products?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is that, you know, for all of our products that we've been developing, core to that strategic focus that we begin with before we even conceive of launching a new product line is, where's the unmet need? Where's the unmet medical need we need to address? So that obviously began with Zenabol and chronic insomnia. We could establish a niche in the market. It's very much the same for autism, where I think there's a limited range of products that have been approved. In fact, only 2 or 1 in Australia for autism spectrum disorder. A lot of the medications are used off-label, so they're a bit of experimentation. And there's a lot of anecdotal data out there which has been drawn from, say, the United States, which suggests that cannabis can make a real impact to quality of life. But what hasn't really happened is a formalized study to actually gather all that information together and actually definitively come to a conclusion that it's making a difference. So that's really what we're setting out to do with Emyria.
And Richard, you've launched Hope in both the States and Australia now, have you?
Yeah, so just over a year ago, 2 Hope products were launched in Pennsylvania. We subsequently licensed those same products into Louisiana. I think what's quite remarkable is that even though autism is a niche indication or perceived as a niche indication, those tinctures or those formulations have become one of the top selling brands in Pennsylvania for the group that are producing them. So they've they've had a very receptive audience focused on the autism community with rapid take up and really positive outcomes in terms of some of the reports we've been collating. We've just recently published a white paper which suggests that HOPA is having a significant benefit across a whole range of behavioural readouts attached or associated with autistic patients.
Richard, why do you reckon autism spectrum disorder is an area of significant unmet medical need?
I think part of the challenge with autism, and I'm by no means an expert, has been that as a spectrum disorder, it's been difficult to classify because children or people, sufferers, present with a range of different features, if you like. But I think we've got better and better at sort of defining that, which sort of explains why the diagnostic rates for autism are sort of increasing in most Western countries. But part of the challenge is that because of that spectrum range of features, there's no one drug that fits all of the presentations for autism. So you're going to need a mixture of, or a panel or a portfolio of different compounds. And to date, there's only one approved drug, risperidone, available in Australia. There's two in the United States. That has significant benefit. It's been established in clinical trial, but it also comes with significant side effects, as do many of the other medications. And that's something that parents are aware of. And when a child's taking 2 or 3 different drugs, there's concerns over safety, which in many cases we think cannabis can start to address.
So Michael, when would you expect this study to get underway, and when would you hope to get your hands on some data?
Yeah, well, we're ready to start right away, in fact, and we're already seeing some autism patients at our national network of clinics in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. So we are ready and taking referrals, and we will start collecting data immediately. That's something that's a bit unique about our model, is that we're always paying attention to how our patients are doing and providing that feedback back to our clinical team so they can react to that, but also, of course, our partners, Zelira, as well, so they can improve their development programs as well. So yeah, we're ready to go, and we're off and racing. So look out, I guess, to find more information, you need to go to our site at Emerald Clinics. That's where you can sort of learn more about the study and then find out how you can get in touch and get involved.
The cool things we can do with this particular observational trial, this real world data collecting ability, is that we can provide periodic updates around how the trial is progressing. So that will keep the market and patient interested. But one other thing that I should mention, just to show you, I think, the significance of what we're talking about, is that we've heard a number, I think, published just recently, that in the NDIS, the National Disability Insurance Scheme that we have in Australia, autism is significantly overrepresented and represents some of the highest cost centres. So something like 46% of children with autism on the NDIS, which, it's roughly 50%. So that just shows you how big this unmet need. And the critical thing you need to understand with autism, it's not just the patient, it's that the whole family is actually impacted. And so any drug that adds some material life to the patient, that will extend very quickly to the family where they can achieve some level of normalcy. And the flow-on impacts from an economic viewpoint are going to be profound. So it's one of the reasons we're really chasing this space, is that there just is nothing that adequately addresses those key outcomes economically and health-wise.
Richard, Michael, great to see you both. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Andrew.